From the shattered skies of post-war Japan, a new symbol took flight. In 1952, a small airline named All Nippon Airways began its journey with modest domestic flights. Few could have predicted that All Nippon Airways would steadily rise to become Japan's largest carrier and one of the world's most respected airlines, renowned for its premium service, cutting-edge technology, and masterful expansion strategies. This article will take you through over 70 years of ups and downs and relentless innovation, from its humble beginnings and international breakthroughs to strategic alliances, crisis navigation, and its global standing by 2025. Don't forget to like, share, and follow so you won't miss the next chapters. In the aftermath of World War II, Japan's aviation industry underwent a major rebirth, and All Nippon Airways emerged at the heart of that transformation. Established on December 27, 1952, as Japan Helicopter and Aeroplane Transports Company Limited, the airline started modestly with 2 helicopters for cargo and charter flights. In 1953, the airline received approval to operate scheduled passenger services, marking its formal entry into commercial aviation. Early trunk routes, like Tokyo-Osaka, set the foundation for future expansion. The adoption of fixed-wing aircraft began in 1955, with the Douglas DC-3 significantly boosting capacity. Rapid network growth followed, and the airline was renamed All Nippon Airways in 1957 after merging with Far Eastern Airlines. Another merger with Fujita Airlines in 1963 strengthened its domestic dominance. By the late 1960s, All Nippon Airways had firmly positioned itself as Japan's leading domestic airline, with over 10 million annual passengers by 1972. Jet operations commenced in 1964 with the Boeing 727, improving speed and efficiency. Domestic exclusivity, enforced by Japan's dual airline policy that reserved international routes for Japan Airlines, forced All Nippon Airways to focus on internal growth. The airline introduced the wide-body L-1011 TriStar in 1974 and celebrated its 100 millionth passenger by 1976. By the end of the decade, All Nippon Airways had become a national symbol of modernity and reliability, poised to break into global markets as deregulation arrived in the 1980s. The 1980s marked a turning point for All Nippon Airways, as the airline transitioned from a domestic carrier to a global player. In 1985, Japan's government lifted its restrictive 2-airline policy, finally allowing All Nippon Airways to launch international routes. All Nippon Airways wasted no time. Its first scheduled international flight took off in March 1986 from Tokyo Narita to Guam. That same year, All Nippon Airways inaugurated long-haul services to Los Angeles and Washington, D.C., followed by routes to Beijing, Hong Kong, Bangkok, and London by the end of the decade. In less than 5 years, All Nippon Airways evolved into a serious contender on the global aviation stage. To support this growth, All Nippon Airways aggressively modernized its fleet. It introduced long-range Boeing 747 variants in 1986, later acquiring the Boeing 747-400 for transcontinental routes like Tokyo, Paris, and New York. The airline also diversified with twin jets like the Boeing 767, Airbus, A320, and Boeing 777, enhancing both capacity and fuel efficiency. During the 1990s, All Nippon Airways deepened its international presence, added new hubs like Kansai Airport, and refined its product with innovations like flatbed first-class seats and the All Nippon Airways Mileage Club. In 1999, All Nippon Airways joined Star Alliance, gaining access to a vast global network. By 2000, All Nippon Airways was firmly positioned as Japan's second global flag carrier, competitive, modern, and internationally integrated. The 2000s marked a pivotal decade for All Nippon Airways, characterized by strategic recalibration and resilience in the face of adversity. After joining Star Alliance in 1999, All Nippon Airways deepened global integration through code-share agreements and joint ventures, most notably with United Airlines and Lufthansa anchoring its international growth strategy around alliance synergies and shared networks. Yet the early 2000s posed significant external threats. The aftermath of the 9/11 attacks, the Iraq War, and the SARS outbreak in Asia sharply curtailed international travel demand. All Nippon Airways international traffic dropped nearly 13% in 2004. In response, the airline executed aggressive cost control measures, streamlined operations, and deferred expansion plans. These disciplined actions enabled All Nippon Airways to return to profitability by 2005, even amid high fuel costs and global economic uncertainty. Simultaneously, All Nippon Airways began repositioning itself to address the rise of low-cost carriers across Asia. In 2005, it unveiled a multi-brand strategy that would materialize in the next decade with the creation of Peach Aviation and the acquisition of Air Asia Japan, later Vanilla Air. This was paired with the 2013 establishment of ANA Holdings Incorporated, a new corporate structure designed to manage both full-service and LCC brands efficiently while allowing strategic flexibility across business units. To further enhance competitiveness, All Nippon Airways invested heavily in service innovation, launching its Inspiration of Japan concept and pioneering in-flight internet on international routes. By the close of the decade, All Nippon Airways had laid a strong foundation, financially diversified, operationally agile, and structurally future-ready. The 2010s were a defining era for All Nippon Airways, marked by both crisis response and strategic innovation. In 2011, the Great East Japan earthquake and tsunami tested All Nippon Airways' resilience. The airline rapidly mobilized to assist with relief efforts, operating special flights to affected areas like Sendai and Fukushima, and transporting emergency supplies and personnel free of charge. Its symbolic, "Forward together as one," Japan livery captured national solidarity and earned public gratitude. That same year, All Nippon Airways entered a new technological phase by launching the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, the first airline to operate the revolutionary aircraft. Its advanced composite design, fuel efficiency, and range enabled All Nippon Airways to pioneer new non-stop routes, including secondary long-haul destinations. By 2016, All Nippon Airways had operated more Boeing 787 flights than any other carrier globally, positioning itself as a technological frontrunner. All Nippon Airways also advanced its multi-brand strategy. The 2013 creation of ANA Holdings formalized a group structure housing full-service All Nippon Airways and low-cost carriers. Peach Aviation launched in 2012, followed by Vanilla Air in 2013. These budget carriers targeted leisure markets, especially in Asia. By 2019, Vanilla was merged into Peach, consolidating All Nippon Airways' LCC efforts and making Peach Japan's leading low-cost airline. Service innovation remains central. All Nippon Airways earned its first 5-star Skytrax rating in 2013 and retained it through 2022, thanks to enhanced cabins, premium cuisine, and signature Japanese hospitality. The slogan, "Safe, Warm, Bright, and Energetic," underscored its customer-first culture. Fleet modernization continued. In 2019, All Nippon Airways introduced Airbus, a 380s with special Flying Honu livery for the Tokyo-Honolulu route, its only Airbus A380 operation. These high-density jets targeted Japanese leisure travelers to Hawaii with enhanced onboard offerings. By the end of the decade, All Nippon Airways had overtaken Japan Airlines in several metrics, operated hubs at both Haneda and Narita, and cemented itself as Japan's flagship global airline. But just as its growth peaked, the COVID-19 pandemic loomed, setting the stage for another turbulent chapter. The COVID-19 pandemic was a defining crisis for All Nippon Airways, plunging the airline into unprecedented disruption. As borders closed and travel collapsed in early 2020, All Nippon Airways' international and domestic networks were decimated. Passenger revenues plummeted, And in fiscal year 2020, All Nippon Airways posted a record net loss of 404.6 billion yen, its worst result in history. This was followed by a projected 100 billion yen loss for fiscal year 2021. In response, All Nippon Airways launched a sweeping restructuring program focused on survival and long-term transformation. Key cost-cutting actions included the retirement of 35 aircraft, mainly aging Boeing 777s, and a 9,000-person workforce reduction over 5 years via voluntary attrition. Executives took pay cuts, hiring froze, and fixed costs were renegotiated. Meanwhile, All Nippon Airways capitalized on surging cargo demand by converting passenger jets to freighters, allowing cargo revenue to hit record highs and partially offset the collapse in passenger traffic. Liquidity was secured through subordinated loans, with indirect government support cushioning the impact. Strategically, All Nippon Airways pivoted. It unveiled Air Japan in 2020, an all-economy mid-haul carrier using Boeing 787s targeting value-conscious international travelers. After delays, operations began in 2024, with routes to Bangkok, Seoul, and Singapore. In parallel, All Nippon Airways launched ANAX to spearhead digital innovation. By integrating its loyalty program, e-commerce, and travel services, ANAX diversified revenue and improved customer engagement beyond air travel. Operationally, All Nippon Airways preserved flight slots and maintained crew readiness, even running empty flights to retain access to key airports. Domestic traffic rebounded in 2022, aided by Japan's travel incentives, while international demand recovered gradually from late 2022. All Nippon Airways restored its long-haul network by early 2023 and returned to profitability in fiscal year 2022. With a net profit of 89.4 billion yen and operating revenue of 1.7 trillion yen, the crisis ultimately accelerated structural reform. With a leaner cost base, digital momentum, and a diversified brand portfolio, All Nippon Airways exited the pandemic on more competitive footing. As Japan eyes global events like Expo 2025 and tourism rebounds, All Nippon Airways is strategically positioned to lead Japan's aviation recovery. As of 2025, All Nippon Airways has reaffirmed its leadership as Japan's largest airline by passenger volume and fleet size, maintaining a dominant position in both domestic and international markets. Central to its network strategy is a unique dual-hub model in Tokyo, utilizing Haneda Airport for high-frequency domestic and premium business routes and Narita Airport for long-haul international services, particularly trans-Pacific connections. This configuration allows All Nippon Airways to optimize scheduling, enhance same-day connectivity across Japan, and serve a wider spectrum of traveler needs. With a modern fleet, strong alliance ties, and a diversified brand structure, All Nippon Airways continues to anchor Japan's global aviation presence. All Nippon Airways exemplifies the resilience, innovation, and strategic clarity required to thrive in a volatile global aviation landscape. From its origins as a domestic operator to becoming a globally recognized full-service carrier and a founding force in Asia's aviation development, All Nippon Airways' journey has been marked by deliberate growth, customer-centric excellence, and operational discipline. The airline has weathered multiple crises, including the global financial downturn, natural disasters, and the unprecedented disruption of the COVID-19 pandemic. Yet each time, it has consistently emerged stronger through agile leadership and forward-thinking adaptation. Today, All Nippon Airways stands at the forefront of Japanese aviation with a diversified portfolio encompassing premium long-haul service, budget travel via Peach Aviation, and a new mid-market entrant, Air Japan. Its dual-hub strategy in Tokyo, leading role within Star Alliance, commitment to sustainability, and ongoing digital transformation initiatives position All Nippon Airways to capture future demand across Asia-Pacific and beyond. As the airline approaches new milestones, including its support role for Expo 2025 in Osaka, All Nippon Airways remains committed to delivering safe, reliable, and refined travel experiences, true to its brand promise of inspiration of Japan. The road ahead is competitive, but All Nippon Airways is structurally and culturally prepared to lead Japan's aviation future.